What is up? It is Adam Balsinger coming to you again with another video from the Investor Boardroom. Our goal here with the videos that we put out through this channel are to help you get one step closer to the ultimate goal of financial freedom. Okay, today what we are going to be talking about is how my team and I vet other operators that we choose to partner up with. So when my business first started with the Investor Boardroom, our goal was that we wanted to be the primary or the lead operator on every single deal that we were doing. And the reason that this was really important to us at this stage, starting out as a new business, was that we wanted to make sure that we knew A to Z, soup to nuts, how to effectively manage a property. We wanted to know the whole nine, right? It's not just the ability to do the due diligence, to identify the property, to get the debt and to raise the capital. All the real hard work, the thing that takes a deal and turns it into a winner or a loser, is what happens after settlement. Okay? So we wanted to make sure that we were managing any property that we were involved in initially, because we wanted to understand everything that was involved. We wanted to go through that process. We wanted to take the lumps, learn the lessons, develop the systems ourselves internally, right? Well, now that we have experience, we've done 9 deals to date. Over $60–70 million of real estate that we have acquired and operated. We've learned a lot about operating a deal and what it takes to operate a deal successfully. And so now what we've really begun to become interested in, is scaling our business and providing a more diversified menu, if you will, of investment opportunities for our investors. Now, one of the ways that we are doing that is by forming strategic relationships with other operators, okay? This could be multifamily operators in other areas of the country. My team and I focus in the southeast section of the United States. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida are the markets that we are actively shopping in. Now, could we bring on additional staff and target new areas? Yes, we absolutely could. That would, however, take some time in order to interview, recruit, train, and onboard somebody and get them to the point where they really know and understand a market like the back of their hand, right? I was about to say inside and out, but then I was like, that's not really inside and out, that's front or back. Anyway, so the ability to be an expert in the markets that an operator is investing is extremely important. We have learned the importance of this ourselves firsthand by being expert in the markets that we are actively investing in. By being intimately familiar with an area, it lets you know where some of the opportunities and where some of the pitfalls may be, because you're living in the area or know the area really well. You know all of the local stuff that's going on, right? Businesses that are coming into town, you understand the path of progress and the way that development is flowing throughout an area better than you possibly could as an outsider in that market. So to be able to provide a geographic diversification for our investors, what made the most sense for us was to team up with other operators that already have an established track record within that geographic area. We happen to love Texas, like pretty much everybody else, right? We happen to really like Arizona. Where we're really looking is essentially a U shape. It's almost like, you know, parts of California kind of down across the bottom section of the country, the Sun Belt, and then up through North Carolina. So it's almost like a backwards J, right, that we're looking at in terms of geography. We're also looking at some other niches or asset classes within commercial real estate. So we're looking at senior housing and assisted living. We're looking at self-storage. We're looking at industrial, right? And again, these are really attractive niches for a variety of reasons. We can share some of that stuff with you. If you're interested in learning out more, check us out on social media and feel free to engage with me there. I'm happy to share the exact reasons that we like some of those specific asset classes with you. But if we talked about every single one of those today, it would be like a 4-hour-long video, right? And that's not going to be the goal. But so what we're doing as we are going out and we're forming these strategic relationships, right? The ability to identify good strategic partners is incredibly important here for us, right? And so the reason I'm sharing this is that many of you, if you're out there and you're thinking about just passively investing with a syndicator, or investing in a business, or you know, whatever it is that you're thinking about, I think it's really important that you're vetting the operator, right? If you're essentially turning your capital over to somebody else for them to be able to go and execute on a business plan, being able to vet people there is incredibly important. Okay, so I'm going to share with you some of the things that we really take into consideration as we're looking to form these strategic partnerships. There's some things that we're trying to be conscious of. So first and foremost, I want to see that this group or this person has some experience behind their belt. I'm looking to see some track record. Okay, I'm not necessarily looking for somebody that's brand new. Because generally when you're new at something, you don't even know where the pitfalls may lie, okay? If somebody doesn't have a strong track record, that doesn't necessarily exclude them. It doesn't mean that we would not form a strategic partnership with that individual, but if we're teaming up with somebody, we're partnering up with somebody that doesn't have a lot of experience, then we're going to want to be more involved in the decision making that's going to be taking place within that particular property or within that particular asset, right? So we want to have more decision making authority. We want to have more ability to weigh in on what's taking place. If the person that we're teaming up with doesn't have that experience, we expect to almost be able to look over their shoulder, right? If they're not aware of what the pitfalls potentially are going to be because they're brand new, then we want to be able to look over their shoulder to say, oh, yeah, don't step right there, right? Step over here this way, because we've been there before. We know that's a potential pitfall. So experience is a big thing that we're looking for, but a lack of experience doesn't necessarily eliminate us from doing business with somebody. The biggest thing that I'm really looking for before I decide to team up with somebody is the individual and the quality of the individual. This is not necessarily a black and white thing. This is an ongoing thing that I'm constantly kind of evaluating in the back of my head as I have ongoing conversations with somebody. So, worth mentioning, it is extremely unlikely, it's almost impossible that I would meet somebody, have one conversation with them, and then all of a sudden decide to team up with them and bring our investors into their deal. I simply don't know the person long enough. I don't have a good enough feel for that individual yet. So I'm looking to make my decision over an extended period of time, over multiple touch points with the individual. I want to see somebody that has some success in their life, in their background. If this is somebody who has struggled and failed at literally every single thing that they've done, and they just go from one failure to the next failure to the next failure to the next failure, forget it, I'm out, right? Because this individual shows that they have no problem just cutting ties and switching gears, What I'm looking for is somebody who has succeeded at something in their life, whether it be career, athletics, right? It doesn't really matter to me, to be quite frank. To a certain extent, it's going to depend on how mature the individual is, where they are in their life and their career, right? If it's somebody that's a younger individual, say they're in their 20s or their 30s, I'm less concerned about it being some form of professional accomplishment. But if it's somebody in their 50s and 60s, like, you better fucking believe I want to see some professional accomplishment. Like, if the best thing that you've ever done is honor roll in high school and you're 50, like, I'm not super impressed by that, right? So the reason that this becomes important is that investments, you know, these deals that we get involved in, it's very unlikely, it's almost impossible for everything to go according to plan. There's always some kind of unforeseen, like, issue that pops up. And so the reason that success is something that I'm looking for in somebody's background is, in order to be successful at something, there's really, like, nobody has an easy path to success, right? There's always bumps, there's always bruises, there's always failures along the way. And so if somebody has been faced with adversity and they've dealt with the adversity and they've pushed through the adversity at some other point in their life, it gives me confidence that they're going to be able to do that with the venture where I'm getting involved in them with, right? I also want to know about this person's motivations. What is their goals? What is their drive? Why are they doing this? I'm asking a lot of questions throughout my interactions with people to really gauge their understanding of the asset class, of the business, of the micro and the macroeconomics that are going to involve or that are going to, impact the overall success or failure of the investment. And I'm really looking for consistency, right? I want to know that somebody can answer questions logically. I'm not expecting that somebody's going to know every single answer. I want to see that they're going to, if I hit them with a question that they don't know the answer to, I don't want to work with somebody that's going to lie, make up the answer on the spot because they think they need to provide me with an answer. I'd rather somebody tell me they don't know and get back to me with the actual facts, right? So as you're interacting with people, we all have pretty good radars, right? You can tell kind of if somebody's BSing you. One of the things that I've learned over time is that through multiple interactions, if you feel like you're not getting the straight answer from somebody, you ask the same question multiple times, worded differently throughout multiple conversations. And if the response changes each time you answer it, now I'm really starting to doubt whether I can trust this person or not. But on a really high level, some of the biggest things I'm looking for: does this person have a track record or experience that I can feel comfortable with? And if they don't, has this person succeeded at something at some point in their life, right? And then I want to know that they know what they're talking about, they have a good understanding of the variables that are going to impact the success of the investment, and that I can trust the individual. So as a private investor, are out potentially looking to invest with other people, I would seriously consider seriously encourage you, to keep those things in mind as well. I hope you found value out of today's video. If you did, do us a solid, hit the like button, subscribe so that you don't miss any of our future content. And as always, our goal here is to help you get one step closer to the ultimate goal of financial freedom. Take care.